Fat Dag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, Fat Dag.
Cheers. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 247 of Wise Advice. And do you remember when we did episode 1? Man, that was 246 episodes ago. What a crazy journey this has been. I truly appreciate all of your support, getting me from the broadcasting from my car now to this studio, and we have plans now for a newer studio. If you remember, somewhere in the middle, I worked out a deal with a studio locally, but I need something closer. I don't have time to commute back and forth to a studio. That hour commute, it just eats up too much time in my day, so that didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. But this one's going to be a lot closer, and I'm working on the details for that. So stay tuned and keep an eye on that. But you guys are making this possible. I appreciate all your support. Thanks for all you do on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Connect, wherever you are following Fat Dag and Wise Advice. I appreciate all of that. The tags, the shares, the likes. Many of you now are sharing in your Instagram stories, so I appreciate that as well. So keep up that amazing work. Keep up that amazing focus. I think one of the things that happens is even as you're sharing my journey and my story, that's keeping you in the game. That's keeping you focused on what it is you're trying to accomplish. And so that little bit certainly keeps us both going. So I appreciate every single bit of that. So thank you so much. If you haven't already, download the Wise Advice app out of your app store. Give it a review in your app store. Let folks know that it's worth the effort. It's certainly worth the $0 that you pay for it in the app store. So leave a review. Let me know what you think of that. And continue to tune into the live show when you get the opportunity. So you can always catch the replay on Facebook. You can always catch the replay on YouTube as well. So thank you. We'll open the show now out of Florida. Dana writes in. She says, "Hi, Fat Dag. I stopped for months. I tried other horrendous diets and I lost nothing. Through it all, as I gained back 30 of the 64 pounds I'd lost, I heard you saying that if I'd quit, I would just get a new starting point. I started back in November only to stop tracking all through the holidays. I faced the music on January 2nd, and I'm so glad to be back on track. I listened to your podcast for the first time in months today, and then I saw this email tonight. Thank you. Thank you for not forgetting me and always encouraging us to do our best. God bless, Dana out of Florida." Well, Dana, you kind of have summarized the journey for so many of us, right? We have tried many other plans. We have tried so many different things to try and lose weight and to get healthy. I'm a believer they all work. However, I'm a believer that only certain ones fit properly into your lifestyle, and certainly Weight Watchers does that for so many of us. And so that's kind of the cool thing. But the other diets you tried, they were horrendous to you and you lost nothing. And yeah, as you started slowly gaining back 30 of the 64 pounds you lost, congrats on the 64 pounds. That's incredible. But you heard my voice, right? My voice said something along the lines of, all quitting does is get you a new start date. I want to explain that to you. I want you to understand why that is true. Here you go. When you joined this program, when you join any other program, when you decide you're going to go on a diet, whatever terms you want to use, at some point in your life, you determine that you don't want to weigh as much as you weigh, you want to lose some weight, you want to get healthy, you want to get in shape, whatever your reasoning is. You make a deliberate decision to do something different with your life and make a change. You can call it a lifestyle change. You can call it a diet. You can call it something, whatever you want to call it is irrelevant. But what you have to understand is you're doing it for a reason. The moment before you sign up, the moment before you commit, you reach a point in your life when you said, I've had enough. I want to change. And that breaking point is your why. Now, sometimes you understand exactly what that is and you understand what drives you there. Many times you just know it's there. You can't fully articulate it as to what it is that's driving you. You just know you want to make a change. I've said this very, very often is you don't accidentally go on a diet. You don't accidentally join Weight Watchers. You don't accidentally join Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig. You don't join them by accident. Something deliberate drives you there, and that is your why. So if we know there is a deliberate action, there's a low point in our life that says, okay, I want to make a change. You reach that breaking point to finally make the change. When you get there and you say, okay, I want to make this change. That's the hardest part is understanding that you're unhappy enough to want to make the change. Then you decide to make the change. That right there, hardest part ever, is to make the decision to actually do it. The next step to do it is when the hard work begins. Now, fast forward just a little bit. That why that powered you to do all that never goes away until you solve it. Never. So what happens is that pain, that misery, you're able to push it away just a little bit as you start having success. And then as things happen and if you decide you're going to quit, what happens is that why is still there. The reason that you joined is still very much inside your head. You may have forgotten about it temporarily. You may have just kind of pushed it aside temporarily, but eventually something will come along that will remind you of the misery that you said, okay, I want to make a change again. So what I say is if when you start to completely change your life, until you completely change your life, you will always want to change your life, whether you know about it or not. So if you start a program and quit a program, the only thing quitting gets you is a new start date, because you never solved the original why that got you there in the first place. So again, congrats to you. Starting back in November, very, very proud of you. Joining in November is not an easy decision to make. You made that decision deliberately to do that. I understand the stop tracking through the holidays. I get that. Boom, January 2nd, you came right back to it, and you're glad you're back on track. So your why has started peeking its head in November. It started peeking its head back in the middle of the holidays. And then boom, January 2nd, your why is back full in force telling you it's time to get this done. I want you to capture that energy. I want you to capture every bit of why you rejoined on January 2nd. I want you to detail back into everything you can think of that you were feeling and put it on paper. Because I don't want you to ever have to relive your why. I want you to be able to read about it and celebrate that success and use that to power you forward. There's only two ways to have that feeling. One is to start over. The other is to read about it. If you have it written down, if you have that energy captured on paper, then you can read about it and use that again to power your success. So you're very, very welcome for Not Forgetting You. Thank you for signing up for the email newsletter, just like I asked you to. Go to fatdag.com for those of you who aren't familiar with it. Click on the email newsletter. It's not spam. I send out, about 8 emails automated, and then what happens is every once in a while I send out a personal email, just letting those who have signed up to say, I'm thinking of you. I want you on track. You guys know it. I mean, if you hit reply, it comes directly to me into my inbox. So it's not spam by that definition. It's not a no reply at fatdag.com email address. It's actually me. But I do that periodically just to let you know that you want to do this. You signed up for a reason. I want to help you solve it. I want to help you get there. I want to help you be the best version of you that's possible. The reason I want to help you, because I believe it's possible. I believe you can do it. I believe we all have that ability, and I want you to succeed. So thank you so much for writing in. Truly, truly awesome job. Let's get back to that 64 pounds that you lost. I know you can get there. I know you have it in you. I can't wait until you write in and tell me how awesome you're doing. So thank you again for that. The next email comes in out of Houston. Tamra writes in and says, Hi, Mike. Did I hear you say you're coming to Houston this month? Oh, please tell me more. I was never an athlete growing up, but surprised myself and ran a handful of 5Ks, even a few half marathons a few years ago when we lived in Pittsburgh. It turns out I like the person that I am when I'm running. We moved back home to Houston in 2017, just in time to experience the Hurricane Harvey flood. Moving with 4 kids is a big deal, plus 10 pounds. And living through the flood and its aftermath was a big deal, even though our house didn't flood, 10 more pounds. My neighbor mentioned she lost 17 pounds on the WW app, and I was impressed. But I really dreaded tracking all of my food. I gave myself an ultimatum. Join WW if I didn't lose weight by Friday. Well, 8 months later, I'm a WW believer, 20 pounds down, 10-ish more to go. I'm even a recruiter. My husband and my neighbor have joined after seeing my success. I'm app only, so I consider you my virtual workshop leader. Thanks for your guidance and your support. I actually reached my original goal back in September, and I'm well within my healthy BMI, but I don't yet have that goal feeling. I think part of that is getting back into running, so I put run a 5K on my list for 2019. I was thinking more like May, and I haven't even started training yet, but you know what? If you're coming in January, I'll walk with you with a 5K. Thanks for all your leadership and your inspiration, Tamra in Texas. Tamra, you're absolutely right. I am coming to Houston in just a couple weeks. January 20th, I will be in Houston. And where I got the details in my inbox, haven't solidified them. But what happened is we are going to do a 5K, some sort of meetup, not coming in town for the Chevron. For those of you who are in the area, that's not why I'm coming into town. So it's not going to be affiliated with that. It's going to be something much smaller off to the side. We'll just kind of get out and do a meetup, hang out, walk a 5K, run a 5K, whatever you folks want to do, we'll do it together as a community and just kind of have fun. January 20th is the date. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email with Houston in the subject. I will get details to you once I finalize them. That's the deal. January 20th, 2019. And like I said, it'll be a 5K of sorts. So no skill required. You can just come hang out with us. That's what we're asking you to do. I just want to say hi to you. That's part of my journey now is to get out and meet the rest of the community as best that I can. So I had an opportunity to come to Houston, and I wanted to share that with you. Now, let's get back to your email. A lot of good stuff in here, right? It turns out you actually like the person you are when you're running. That's awesome. I understand that feeling. There's a certain emotional release you get from exercise. Running brings that into your life quicker. So I'm glad that you were able to experience it. I think it's cool that you ran a handful of 5Ks. You ran even a few half marathons. That is deliberate effort. You don't run a 5K on accident. You don't wake up one morning and walk out the front door and decide to run 13.1 miles in a half marathon. You don't do that. So at some point you understood focus, you understood being deliberate, and you took that action, completely changed your life, and you understood the feeling that comes with that. Now I understand fully moving back to Houston in the middle of the hurricane, in the middle of the move itself. Yes, there are some significant life events that came your way. Things that generally people don't have to deal with, and that takes you out of your routine. As you build healthy routines and habits, those things are what going to motivate you and keep you on track. Moving clear across country is not a habit. If you're moving every weekend, then that habit is just not healthy. So you moving is not part of your habit. So you took some time to adjust, and when you got to your new location, you didn't have any habits yet because you had to readjust to a new location. Now, same thing, living through a hurricane and the flood, that's not a habit. You don't have a hurricane every single weekend. The whole city doesn't flood every single weekend. So again, two different things in your life happened, and yeah, they can account for some weight gain because it was knocking you off your A game. What happens in all these situations, and whether they're these situations or whether they're other situations, things that take you out of your daily routine are things you have to just accept and say, I will do my best. I don't know what my best is. I don't know what I'm capable of, but right now I'm going to just do the best I can given the circumstances that I was dealt when I woke up this morning. It changes from day to day. So all you're able to do is just say, I'm doing my best today. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know what it feels like. I just know that today I will do my best, accept what it is, wake up tomorrow doing my best. At some point, you will start to recognize habits growing back into your new routine. When you get to that point and things start to settle down and you're now working more in a habit mode than a reactionary mode, that's when it's time to recommit. That's when it's time to say, okay, I recognize now that I'm back into a routine. Let me modify the routine and do the best version of me that I can. So you've been through an awful lot. You absolutely have. You've survived it. That's incredible. Continue to have the focus. Continue to stay connected to your online community. That's what's going to keep you reminded that you actually want to do this. I think it's very, very awesome that your neighbor down 17 pounds was sharing the news. She clearly was proud of all she'd done. You clearly noticed the work she did. And together, you decided that, okay, I want that too. And then here you are, you turned into that cheerleader. You turned into the person that said, the term I use is you were the prize. Other people saw your success. They were inspired by all that you were able to do. And they said, you know what? I want some of that success. And so here you are, making sure that other people are able to completely change their life because you are leading by example as you change your life. Reaching your goal, having a healthy BMI, congratulations on that. Now, if you're saying that the feeling of goal is missing, let's talk about that for a second. Right? There's clearly something missing, and you even said it in your email. Part of it is getting back into running. So you experienced while you were running something that you were doing deliberately to completely help you and feel better. And so now as you've drifted away from running slightly, you recognize that there's something that you're truly capable of doing that you're not doing. That we can get that back. And I'm going to come to Houston and we're going to kick this thing off. And from that point forward, I'm going to ask you to carry the torch forward. But you can get there. Because the only reason you're kind of missing the goal feeling is that, like I said, you have in the back of your head that you're capable of so much more. And that's what I want you to celebrate. I want you to find it. I want you to look back and say, you know what? I'm the best at this, and I'm so much better than what I'm giving myself. And that when you start doing that is where the true success is. So congratulations on all your success. Congratulations on changing other people's lives. There's not much better than that. And I will see you in just a couple weeks. It looks like it's, 8 days, right? 9 days, 8 days, something like that from this recording. So, man, it's going to be fun. Can't wait to see you, Houston. Shoot me an email onair@fatdag.com, Houston in the subject line if you are interested in joining us in Houston. The last email for this episode comes in from Amy. Amy says, Dear Mike, after listening to your live show before episode 235, I thought I'd write into you. I'm not sure if you consider this to be complacency because I have what I think is good focus. I'm following the program as designed and I know how it works. I know it works best for me as I can, but I'm stuck and I just don't know how to break it. My weight has crept up over the year. Because of this, I am working in overdrive on my how, primarily increased exercise, while remembering my why to get these pounds off because I don't know what else to do. I've been able to stay within 2 pounds of my goal weight, but it hasn't been easy. The goal feeling we all talk about on your podcast is long gone, and I want it back. I can't pinpoint why my weight is creeping up. My clothes are fitting, but they're starting to get tight. Red flag, danger, danger. It's not because I exercise more. Well, at least not all of it. I am genuinely hungrier than I was years ago when I first hit goal. So I actually do eat more. Maybe I'm becoming complacent with my food choices as I try new foods, which I do track, and I'm not remembering that YOOPSEP. The creep is in full force, and I'm trying to tame it. I don't want it to stress me out and make me more self-conscious. I keep telling myself I know what I need to do, and I'm trying to do that. I continue to track daily, and I know very well what I'm eating. I eat all my weeklies on the weekends, and I dip into my Fit Points each week. I try to eat no more than about a quarter of them, but it turned out to be closer to half. I earned them not only for health reasons, but as I increased my activity, it was to offset what I ate, even the healthy and 0-point foods. Both are true to this day. I always think back to former podcasts when you talk about not being scared of a number on the scale because that person has seen that number before. I am there, and I'm scared. Don't get me wrong, I'm very pleased with many parts of my journey. I'm able to do things I want, and I don't have any health issues related to my weight, so my efforts in avoiding these potential issues as I get older have been successful. All of my numbers for health are normal, so I don't fear going to see the doctor, except when they are ready to weigh me. I am living a great life. I want to maintain my good health as well as feel and look my best in my clothes. Vanity? Yes. Does that feeling matter to me? Yes, I'm okay with both. There haven't been any major life events to warrant the weight gain other than stress at work. I am a stress eater, and juggling work and family life, so I have a healthy balance between the two. Please let me know your thoughts. If you choose not to share this on the show, that's okay. Any feedback from you would be appreciated. I say it all the time. Thanks for all that you do, for walking beside me every day, and for being an inspiration to me. I want you to achieve all your goals on your journey as you become the best version of yourself. Continue to dream big with this podcast and beyond, and look for ways to give back to the community as no one else can once you retire from the military. All my best, Amy. Amy, thank you so much. You're one of those unique individuals in this journey that we've had the opportunity more than once to connect on the phone. We've connected in person more than once. It's always fun to be in your presence. So thank you for that first. You know, I think my the favorite time, there was actually, I guess it's not my favorite because I can't pick a favorite at the moment, but two in particular was certainly when I came to DC, and you and I, very, very early in the morning, we both got dropped off at the wrong location, and we ended up walking about 2 miles before we started a 5K. Right, we walked further to get to the starting line than we actually walked to the race, or very close to it. And so we both at that point knew that what we are doing is completely new to us, and we're changing our life, and we're able to just go walk and not have to worry about, is it too far? So you have completely changed your life in that regard. And then I also enjoyed visiting the World Trade Center Memorial with you as well. That was super duper cool. But thank you for that. But now let's dig into your email. Right, there's obviously a lot going on. So firsthand that I think you're awesome. Firsthand that I think you're fantastic and you're doing awesome and you're doing great. All that stuff. And so if you've forgotten it, let this be the opportunity for you to be reminded of that. But here's where we go. So you've got something going on. And you clearly, I don't know if you've read this back, and I want you to go back and reread it. And of course, listen here. To me, it's kind of clear what's going on. So your weight's creeping up. I get that. Because of this, you're working your overdrive on your how. So what's happening is weight's creeping up, and then your answer is the solution to you is to go work out more and to try and take the weight off with exercise. That necessarily isn't a bad thing. However, we have to figure out what's causing the eating side to go up. That's what we have to work out. Working on your how, putting that in overdrive, not really a long-term solution. Certainly it has some benefits. There's no doubt about it. Certainly it is a method to the madness. But what's going to happen is the more you work out, the more you're going to need to eat. Now, you started experimenting with that. Very proud of you on that. But here's where we have to really dig into. When we get to the point when we are close to goal, at goal, very close to goal, whatever the term you want to use in, and you're mentally happy and you're now moving more than you ever have, you will need more food, for sure. But what happens is, generally speaking, we don't know how to eat properly. So we start filling that void and that need for extra food with not the best choices. Sometimes that leaves us sometimes that leaves us hungry. Sometimes we're not getting the nutritional meals that we need. And next thing we know is the weight starts to creep up because we're not satisfying the hunger need that's coming from the increase in exercise. So here's where it starts to get tricky is you're going to have to now find a way to bring in the healthier versions of the foods that you like best. And so if you're genuinely hungrier than you were years ago when you hit goals, so you do eat more, protein usually solves that. We haven't actually got into the detail of what you're eating, but add more protein. Look for ways to get protein into your diet. That will certainly help. And then I also want you to ditch the mindset of being stressed out and self-conscious about this. That's not helping you at all. And so as you start stressing about the food choices and going, then what happens when you do that is that stress causes us a lot of times to want to eat even more. So you kind of got a double whammy going against you in that sense. The thing that I recognized for in your email is probably the patterns that you outlined. And if this is completely wrong, shoot me an email and we will certainly chat about it over the phone. But here is what I picked up. You continue to track daily, yay. You know very well what you're eating, awesome. You eat all of your weeklies on the weekend, and you dip into your fit points each week. Those are the two behaviors I would see if I could get modified. As you go through the week, and then you're allowing yourself this treat on the weekend, I believe that's giving you this sense of during the week, you're kind of sacrificing to get to the weekend. And you believe the weekend is a normal day of eating. And so therefore, Monday through Friday, you're stressing yourself out because you just can't wait to get to your Saturday eating pattern. I want you to try and find a way to eat even on an even keel kind of range where you're spreading your weeklies out daily. And then I would say reserve your fit points at this point. Allow them to be extra credit in your weight loss at this point. I believe that with the spreading your weeklies out, adding more protein, looking for healthier options of the food, I believe at that stage of the game where you're at, that will carry you to where you need to be. So that's the paragraph I want to focus on for you. You said you want to eat no more than a quarter of your fit points, which is generally the guidelines I recommend. But then you're even creeping up into that realm as well. So I believe this is nothing more than you're just eating a little bit too much. And so as we do that, regardless if it's 0-point foods, regardless if it's fruit, eating too much is eating too much. So we now need to find a way to satisfy you so that when you eat properly and you eat to the point where you're content, that you actually are healthy and satisfied, and you're not dying or begging for more food later on. So that will carry you to where you want to be. Now, I understand the cool part to your journey, right? You're very pleased with many parts of it. I get that. You absolutely have every reason to be happy about that. You have every reason to be very proud about that. I talked about our walk before we did the walk, right? Not that you just can't. Not too many people can do that. So clearly, you're in a great shape. All of your health numbers are great. All of them are normal. So don't fear any of this journey. You look great. You're doing great. Your blood work is great. It's just and you're still at goal. You're 2 pounds above goal, or at 2 pounds, right around 2 pounds of goal, whatever you put. But so you're doing fantastic. So let's tame the brain. Let's take a deep breath, right? Let's take a deep breath and go, okay, everything is going right. There is so much more going right than going wrong. It's the stress that's adding to this journey that doesn't need to be there. So, Amy, keep up the great work. Tackle the fear. Go after it with a vengeance. Say, you know what? You can do that. You've proven time and time and time again that you can do this. So don't be scared of the number. Don't be scared of the food choices. Don't be scared of just completely saying, you know what? I want better for myself. And I know we've also chatted online as well about looking for new ways to add healthier foods into your diet. I started looking at a little deeper into my food, and I experiment with it time and time again. But I noticed that even the days that I eat great, I'm still not eating nutritionally. I'm eating low calories, low points, whatever, but it's not nutritionally balanced. And so one of my goals always is to add some nutritional balance to my life. And so I think that I'm hoping that it can also cure the hunger that I know you're working on that as well. Bottom line, Amy, is everything you're doing is fantastic. You have every single reason to celebrate. You do. You have so many more reasons to celebrate than you have to stress. So I want you to continue that mindset in the celebration mode. Celebration's where it's at. Celebration's a piece that makes this whole thing worth the effort. Continue to put in the effort. Continue to stay in touch. Continue to get it done. Enjoy the football this weekend. I know you're missing some football games right now as you're watching the podcast, but enjoy the football. It's that time of year. And just take a deep breath and let's get it done. So Amy, again, congratulations. And always fun to hang out with you and celebrate. Folks, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the Wise Advice podcast to send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but this show is 100% user email driven. If you don't send in your email, there's no reason for me to turn the microphone on. That's how it works. Email in on air at fatdag.com. Tell me what you're proud of. Tell me what you're struggling with. Tell me how awesome you are. Tell me why you don't think you are. Whatever it is, I want to work with you. I want to help you get it done. I want you to email in those celebrations in the comments because I want you to be proud of what you're doing, and I want to help the entire community understand that it's possible. When you understand that, when the whole world gets it, you start acting a little different. You start acting with a little confidence. Other people start to notice it. Other people say, you know what? I want what she's having. I want what he's having. And you start, the term I'm going to use again is be the prize. You start acting in such a way where everybody wants the contagious energy that you're pushing out. That's what goal feels like. That's what changing your life feels like. And it doesn't matter what you weigh at that point. What matters is how you are treated how you are treating the world, how you receive the world, and how you're behaving. Way more contagious, way more fun. I want you to share that. I want other people to experience it, and I want the whole world to completely change their life. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You actually have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Thank you for listening to the Wise Advice Podcast. Did you know for as little as $1 a month, you can take the next step as a wingman and support the show? Visit fatdag.com, click on Become a Patron today.